are going to start talking about ethics. So, why are we talking about ethics? If you look at the course curriculum 5 years ago, nobody would talk about ethics of AI. But I feel that today it is extremely important to talk about ethics. It's actually an important area for any student who has done AI course to understand the long-reaching consequences of where we are today. Now, why did we not talk about ethics 5, 10 years ago? The answer is obvious. Why did we not talk about ethics? It was? Deep networks were not that successful, but the question is on AI. AI was not impactful. Well, there was always Google. Google had a lot of machine learning in it, so you can't say that AI was not impactful. But it was not touching so many lives so quickly. If you look at the Siri project, for example, and you guys must have been little kids, but Siri came out in what, 2007 or 8? It was terrible in its ability to recognize speech. Like super terrible. I remember distinctly that when I would say anything, it would just completely not understand it and understand something completely different. And this was true by and large, except for the very sort of standard American speak. Anybody with any kind of a little bit of an accent would have a hard time getting through to any kind of spoken dialogue system. You know, we would always be dealing with all these automated systems, for example, in the US for, purchase of air tickets or any kind of customer service, and we would have just a tough time. If we have to press a key, we were happy. If we have to speak the credit card number, we were just like, this is never going to work. Press 9, press 9, press 9. Let the operator come. And in the last 5 years, things have completely changed. In the last 5 years, AI has become so big that governments now have AI policies. And not just the US governments, but even Indian government has an AI policy that came out of Niti Aayog last year, 2018. And everybody is saying, okay, if AI becomes mainstream, when AI becomes mainstream, when it touches so many walks of life, where is it fair use, where is it not fair use, how much to use, how not to use, how to increase your AI throughput, output from the country, etc., etc. So there are many issues to discuss now that until earlier people thought, AI, never going to work, never going to be successful, who cares? And suddenly, what is interesting is that they have gone into the other direction. So I'll show you what is the other direction. The other direction is conscious killer robots to bide their time and enslave humans. This is the kind of narrative that is going on in news, right? Even sex robots are going to murder people, right? Believe it or not. Somebody wrote this very beautiful article which said, tomorrow you will be the overlord. AI, you would be the overlord. You would be about to kill all of us, the humanity. At that time, before you kill the humanity, please read my article. Okay? Of course, there are some people, they believe strongly, for whatever best reasons they have, that AI could doom human civilization. Of course, there are people who disagree, but because of their other practices, they are not very important anymore, or they are important, but nobody listens to them anymore, right? So this is a complicated situation. And of course, then there are people who say, look, Elon Musk is wrong, AI is not going to kill us, this is ridiculous, etc., just stirring up the fear. And also that there was a recent survey of 50 Nobel laureates who ranked many, many other factors ahead of AI that could be threat to humanities, right? If you think about it carefully, climate, obviously people say that it is not clear whether 3 generations from now you would have any people alive, right? Some people say 70 years, some people say 100, some say 200. But the way the global warming is going, and it's very hard to reverse at this point, lot of snow is gone away, etc., etc., we might all be dead, right? Because it will be cyclic, right? Once you have more heat and more purchasing power, you'll have more ACs. Once you have more ACs, you will have more greenhouse gases. Once you have more greenhouse gases, you will have, less atmosphere, etc. You know the cycle. and many, many other factors, including some people. So I think this is full speed. This is the fact that AI robots are going to kill humans is just taking it too far, too soon, without much basis. And most AI researchers feel that's just not going to happen. And of course, people who write these kinds of articles are rarely AI researchers, right? But there is one other thing that can be more real. So there are newspaper articles which say that robots are taking over in a different way, AI to sink the world into unemployed despair in hellish dystopia. Suddenly, people won't have jobs, those jobs will be done by AI. And here I would like to separate AI and automation. This is sort of an argument against automation, but people believe that AI will lead to a lot more automation. And on the other hand, there are other people who are saying, look, there are many jobs which are going to stay, right? And then there are some people say that AI will eliminate millions of sales jobs. Other people say, look, it will create more jobs than it eliminates. 2020 seems too soon in my personal opinion, next year, so I'm not sure if that is true. It's neither creating that many more jobs, nor is it eliminating. Maybe then, therefore, it's true that it's creating more jobs, I'll show you, but it's not yet eliminating. But by 2030, we need to answer what's going to happen. And it is clear that AI is going to be creating new and unconventional career paths. Because the world around us which has always been changing, right? We have cell phones. Our grandparents never had cell phones. They had phones. Their parents never had phones. They didn't even have a radio. Or maybe they had a radio. Their parents never had a radio. So the world has evolved. And we have been evolving since time immemorial, right? But eventually, we are evolving too fast right now. And things are going to churn very fast. So that will cause a lot of disruption, and we need to figure this out. So let's quickly talk about jobs, because I think that's an important question. At present, it is said that 40% of companies struggle to hire and retain data scientists. And when I use data scientist, AI, ML, I'm going to use this in sort of interchangeable ways at this point, right? We have discussed this very early in the course that you actually do data science for most companies, but you tell people you're going to do machine learning, and then when you want funding, you say we are doing AI, and all of that. These are practically the same things with small differences, and we'll ignore the differences. This is not just for random companies. A third of the top 400 companies, think about the top 400 companies, they lack state-of-the-art data analysis tools and personnel. They just don't have it. The top 400, 150 of those don't have it, then you know what about others? It is expected that by 2020, there will be 364,000 more jobs globally for AI or data scientists or machine learning practitioners / researchers. 50,000 of those in India, out of which 25,000 will expect a graduate degree or higher. So, while AI is going to disrupt things, it is clear that there are a lot of AI jobs that are going to come out, at least in the near term. Because every company wants AI. Even if you are basically a hardware company, you still want AI. Even if you are doing, service, you need AI. If you are doing blacksmithy, you want AI. If you are doing anything, you want AI in your portfolio. So by you by taking my AI course have now gotten access into this space. Now the only thing you need to do is also take a machine learning course, also take a deep learning course, also take a data mining course, also take a computer vision or natural language processing or both courses, so that you are an expert now, right? At least to some level. But you have now your path, your thing has started, right? And some people say that look, a third of the jobs could be replaced by 2030. It is clear that it's mostly clear that the truck drivers in the US may not exist after 2030, because truck driving is a very difficult job in the US. The trucks are 24 wheels, very, very long trucks. They make a lot of mistakes. They mostly drive in the nights. They don't sleep. They take a lot of coffee, then they drive, then they take a lot of coffee, then they drive. They make mistakes. They can make mistakes. They are human, and they have accidents. It's a very it's a difficult job. Of course, that is the only job they know what to do, right? How to do. So I'm not saying that they will say that please replace us, But for humanity, maybe it's a good idea to say, okay, the trucks will drive completely autonomously using autonomous driving. And those autonomous driving cars will take a long time before they can come to India, dealing with our traffic rules and the potholes and the cars and the rickshaws and everybody else. So we are okay for a generation. If we actually become industrialized and mechanized and our roads become nice and people start driving in lanes, not going to happen, then we might not have drivers some generations from now. But for now, we are okay. So their job might be eliminated. So we need to figure out how to rehabilitate them. It's very important. It's not like we can deal without it. We have to deal with it. But for the whole humanity, it's probably better to use AI there and rehabilitate them in a different profession, and slowly they will retire, and then the next generation of truck drivers won't exist. So it just takes one generation, but you need to make sure that the generation that got displaced knows what to do. On the other hand, there are reports which say that AI will create more jobs than it eliminates, and there will be jobs of AI trainers, AI explainers, AI sustainers, AI whatever, working with AI systems, those kinds of jobs. So if you have kids around you, make sure that they are very digitally literate. They can work with robots. They have small robots that they can make. They can deal with them. They can play with them. They can, things like that. They get used to being machines around them, because the future might be one where AI and human intelligence comes together to solve a task. I probably have said this before, but I'll say it again. The best chess player is not a machine. The best chess player is not a human. If humans compete with machines, of course machines win. But the best chess player is a team of humans and machines, because there are still some insights which humans have which machines don't. And then there are of course insights that machines have which humans cannot compute. And together they become formidable. So there's a good chance that your kids, or even you in your lifetime, or even I in my lifetime if I live long enough, will see AI and humans collaborating very, very closely in a lot of tasks. And we'll talk about what some of those tasks would be, and what are the challenges in getting AI to that point.